part of your world. Little Mermaid comes out tomorrow.
Oh, is that from the... I saw The Little Mermaid when I was a kid, but, like, aside from, like, Under the Sea, I can't think of, like...
Under the Sea.
I don't remember, like, I couldn't recite any part of it to you, but I remember really liking, Ursula's song.
She's like, boom, 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 I'm Ursula, dum, 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 boom, boom, boom.
Ursula's the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
Or...
Well, you could argue...
Oh, yes.
Against that, I guess.
Truly the fairy stepmother of that story.
Yeah. The fairy stepmother. Yeah.
Is it fairy godmother?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
An evil stepmother. She's kind of... I mean, I guess that is kind of what she is. She's kind of both.
Yeah. Wait, is she Mermaid's mom?
No, but she's kind of like the fairy godmother in the sense that, like... She takes the role of, like, the evil,
gives her that.
I think she's... I can't remember if she's... I think she's just, like, an old... I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't care about Disney movies. I watch real movies.
True.
Damn. Always the sun's in Thomas's face. It's about to be in my face.
It's okay. It's just like the end of Samurai 3.
Where you're like, I can't see.
Just like, oh, fuck. Oh, shit. All right. God damn it.
The sun is our worst enemy.
It's our best
It would also
friend.
help if I did this.
Our worst.
Maybe. Sure.
A little bit. I don't know for the camera, but at least for me.
It's fine. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Screen Weens.
Yes.
185?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm going to say that with confidence as I look it up, but I'm pretty sure this is 185 up in here.
I think we were like, what, 14, 16 episodes away from 200?
Yeah, we are 185, 15 episodes until the end of the pot. What? Just kidding. We're never going to end it. We have too many people waiting on us.
Sure.
Sure, we're going to go with that. Yeah. Let's go with that. Anyway, before we jump into the actual movies we're talking about, which is the Samurai Trilogy, starring Toshiro Mifune as Musashi Miyamoto, we're going to do what we do, as always, and talk about the rest of our week. Talk about what we did, what we didn't do, our likes, our dislikes, our love, and our losses. Thomas, take it away.
Not a whole lot. It has been a short week since we last saw each other. The only two notable things outside of the Samurai Trilogy that I indulged myself in this week was when we watched Puppet Master: The Littlest Reich.
It was so shitty. It was so... Honestly, it's one of my least favorite ones.
I find it to be probably more watchable than most of them, but it's also more annoying.
It's more annoying, and I do
tries to be
think...
snarky.
There is a certain expectation of, like, this will be better because it's not made by Full Moon.
Yeah, it's not made by Full Moon. They got some real actors in there, some faces where I was like, I recognize that person.
I know that guy.
Yeah, Thomas Lennon was in it. He's the big one. Is it Lennon or Lemus? Not Lemus.
I think it's Lennon.
Okay.
You asked that during the movie.
I know. Well, anyway, yeah, it's got him in it. It's got, I don't know, a bunch of people that you see in the background of, like, Judd Apatow movies, but never are actually, like, big characters in anything.
It's okay, now they're a big character in The Littlest Reich.
Yes. And
that sequel tease.
Yeah, that sequel tease fucking... That was probably the best part of the whole movie, just because so far it hasn't come to fruition, and I don't think it will, because... Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Of all the reboot, remake attempts that we've watched here on the channel, I'm going to toss aside Slumber Party Massacre, but, like, of the modern age. So, like, I guess, what have we... I guess it would just be Wrong Turn and, like, Black Christmas.
What remakes have we watched?
Not entirety, just of, like, the more recent ones that came out around the same time as The Littlest Reich. Stuff like Black Christmas. I would have said Slumber Party Massacre, but that one's good, so I don't
that one's, like,
that one.
shockingly good.
That one's, like, pretty close to the bar that the original one set. So it's like, fuck, I don't know.
I haven't seen it, but there's the new Texas Chainsaw. I don't know if it's a remake or a sequel.
Yeah, I saw it. It's shit. It's watchable, but it's shit. And it's got that weird, like, conservative value inserted into it, which I guess makes sense for a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie if it were being, like, more tongue-in-cheek, but I don't know. It's weird. It's totally confusing.
I've now seen, because Twitter always has defenders on everything, but I've now seen a bunch of people saying that, but that it is tongue-in-cheek in its execution. Like, I trust Thomas. I don't trust you, random person with 5 numbers after them.
Considering that one of the, like, main characters is like a school shooting survivor, and they like really drive that point home, I don't think it was meant to be tongue-in-cheek. You could argue that bits and pieces of it are, because the whole, like, thing that catapults the whole film, sends it spiraling, is the fact that, like, I don't know if you know the premise of this. I'm just going to talk about it a little bit.
Are they vloggers?
They're, like, social media, and they're basically just got a lot of followers on Instagram or Twitter or something, but they've decided to buy this small town in Texas. And they get there and they're going to, like, do a big presentation where it's like, oh, look at how, like, old school and quaint this is, hardy har kind of shit. And I don't know what, they're trying to sell properties there or something, but oh no, they get there and there's an old lady who still lives there. Maybe. They don't know if she's got the deed to the house or not, but she's got a Confederate flag flying and that just won't stand, so they got to go take it down. And then it turns out, oh no, she's been babysitting, like, Leatherface, because it was like an old orphanage that shut down. And that's where he went after the events of the first film, because this is a legacy sequel that directly follows the first film. And it's like, that's shit. Anyway. But yeah, I was gonna say, between, like, Puppet Master, The Littlest Reich versus, like, Ron Turner and Black Christmas, which is your...
I think Puppet Master is better because it has puppets, I guess.
Yeah, that's probably my same line. That and I mean, the gore in it wasn't great, but
it was like fun enough.
Decent.
There were some of those kills that I chuckled at, even if it was just at how, like, absurd the whole idea of it was.
Yeah.
Also, there were a couple new puppets that I'm like, these are good.
Yeah, I like that.
Joker Frog.
That was the best one. And it was only on screen for like a second, but they kind of built it up a little bit before, so it was like...
Yeah, it's like, that's going to be the main character.
I wasn't expecting it to be the main character. Like, I wasn't expecting like a torch or 6-shooter treatment, but like, at least having it have a couple kills or being on screen for more than a second would have been nice. But yeah, so I did that, and I started rereading The Hobbit, because...
Haven't read it.
It's good. It's better than the movies, that's for sure.
Okay.
But, yeah, it's good. I like it.
Cool.
Very, very quaint, whimsical. The chapters are each, like, they're decently sized, but they're all, like, their own self-contained adventures that kind of build up into the grander story, so it's... Because I think it was designed to be, like, bedtime stories or something like that.
That sounds right.
But, yeah, it's super fun. I'm, like, halfway through it. I read it not too long ago. Around the time that we did the Hobbit episode, so
was that a year and a half ago?
Yeah, but I want to read through the trilogy this month, so that's my goal.
Cool. What did I do? Well, Hinata is not here, so she cannot stop me from watching full moon movies. So, yeah, we watched Littlest Reich, and then I'm like, I need good stuff. So I watched Baby Oopsie 3, which was bad. But then I watched Puppet Master vs. Demonic Toys, which I think rules.
Really?
I think that movie rules.
I'll have to rewatch it. I don't remember being impressed with it at all.
Maybe it's just because I think it looks visually like a real movie. Like, I think Ted Nicolau is able to, like, present...
Oh, he directs
Yeah, he directs that one. It's, I think, TV-14. So it's really weird. It's pretty much a children's movie. Like, if I'm being honest, there's not a lot of swearing. There's no there's not a lot of blood or sex, which is it's really weird for those movies. But it makes lots of weird puppets, and there's like Satan is in it, or Baal, like a demon. It's really strange.
I vaguely remember that.
And it just has a huge human subplot, like all the Puppet Master movies. But this one I kind of liked, because Corey Feldman's maniac in that movie.
Yeah.
I really liked it. I was surprised. I then watched Doll Man versus Demonic Toys.
Yeah, I remember not liking that one either.
Horrible. Yeah. Just horrible.
I'm pretty sure I watched those back to back, so maybe in my mind they just kind of...
I mean, I did too. I was like...
melded together.
But Demonic Toys... Like, Puppet Master vs. Demonic Toys, also, it's like its own movie. Doll Man vs. Demonic Toys has clips from...
Bad Channels,
Doll Man, and Demonic Toys. And I'm like, it's gotta take up like a third of the runtime.
Yeah.
And it's only an hour long.
Yeah, I remember watching it for the first time, and I had no fucking clue what Bad Channels was. And I was like, what is this? If I had known I was going to need to catch up on my lore, but thankfully they did show all the relevant clips you would need, so...
But yeah, just terrible. We went and saw John Wick 4 again, or I saw it with a couple of people, because I hadn't seen it. And still, really just... one of the best action movies I've seen.
Still yogging it up. And then I finally got through one of the full moon movies that was huge, like one of the big ones that people that don't know what full moon have seen, which was Sorority Babes and the Slime Ball Bowl-O-Rama. Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
It's terrible. David Duchovny, so it's like...
No.
Okay?
That's Killer Eye Guy, right?
Yeah, and they've referenced... In Evil Bong 4 or 5, when they first get the bowling alley, he has a cameo where he's like, I'm David Duchovny. I directed Sorority Babes of the Slime Ball Bowl-O-Rama in this bowling alley. And I'm like, I don't know if that's actually true. Which is funny because it was like a teaser, because they did a sequel to Sorority Babes a year ago, after 30 years. It's terrible. It's really, really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I say Hinata couldn't stop me, it's more like I just watched a bunch of terrible shit.
Yes.
But yeah,
I can't judge. I've done the same thing.
I probably will continue it because I still got a couple days. I haven't read anything yet. I've almost finished. I've been reading Lords of the Sith, or I've been listening to the audiobook for it for 6 months.
Yeah.
It's just, I think there's some really, really good stuff.
Lords of the Sith is the one in canon, right?
That's the canon one, yeah. About it deals with Hera's dad and also Vader and Palpatine.
Okay, yeah.
And I think the Vader stuff is fantastic.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was non-Vader.
Yeah, and that's where it really starts to fall apart. And it's just the writing. I don't know what it is. It's not engaging at all. And by the time I'm finally into it, I'm just like, I've been listening to this for so long, and it'd take a second. But I have 12 minutes left. I almost finished it on my drive home. I'm like, I'll just finish it later.
Yeah.
So I'm going to finish that tonight. And then we bought, they're doing so Marvel, or the Star Wars, does the reprints of Legend stuff in the newer format called the Central Legends Collections, which are these nice, they're still soft paperbacks, but they're nice. They all have a unique design on them, but they're all uniform on the sides. They look really nice. I really like the design of them. But they're reprinting the Republic Commando books, which I never read, but one of my coworkers really likes them. So a bunch of us are all going to read them together. So I'm going to start that tonight, probably.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. That's what I did.
Nice. Any questions from ZPad?
Let's check.
Any Puppet Master themed questions, considering he watched Puppet Master with us?
Let's check. No questions from here. You forgot to send up the questions.
Very sad.
You probably forgot when we were recording, because we did just record like 5 days ago.
That is...
And we've now shifted recording days again, and probably upload days.
Yes, probably.
Let's talk about Samurai 1, Musashi Miyamoto.
Yes.
Pretty good.
Yeah. No, that's pretty much my thoughts on the trilogy as a whole. There's some really strong moments, but
there's that's the thing. I think my biggest thing with this trilogy is I'm like, man, that scene was fucking awesome. Time to sit around for 40 minutes.
See, I think I would have been more engaged, but like... plot twist. I read the first chunk of Vagabond, like when I...
Yeah, I didn't realize about... I was talking to Samuel, who's the coworker that's also going to read Republic Commando, but he had read the books that Vagabond's based off of, and those books are based on Musashi Miyamoto.
Yeah, I think the movie's based on the same thing, because they all follow the same, like, structure, more or less. The manga's a little more expanded, because it has more time and tries to tell the wider scope, but, like... yeah, I think they're both based on, like, that same book. Not the Book of Five Rings, which he does is partially autobiographical as far as I can tell, but I think there's, like, a novelization biography kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it's, like, more historical fiction that pulls from a bunch of stories about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... I've heard Vagabond's sick, and I'm sure if somebody's watched Vagabond or read Vagabond and then goes to this, I get it.
Yeah, Vagabond's, like, the... like up to version of this, because it's like watching these I was like, oh, like Vagabond, I don't know if it's like there's specific designs for like a lot of these characters throughout like historical folklore, but like it's pretty like from what I could tell, I haven't read Vagabond in a few years, but it's from my memory it's like, oh yeah, this like looks like he just wanted to do like a manga of the movie that like filled in the gaps and told the broader story.
Is Musashi Miyamoto just drawn like Toshiro Mifune in Vagabond?
He's a little skinnier early on, but later on he looks a lot like Musashi Miyamoto when he like ages up and gets the beard and stuff. So it's like, yeah. But yeah. Because Vagabond, the manga, the portion I read, like, I didn't finish reading it, but, like, at the time, I was quoted as saying, this could potentially be my favorite manga. And I had just read Berserk, and obviously I had been on the One Piece train for a while, but... Yeah, because I think Musashi Miyamoto is, like, a super interesting historical, not character.
Figure.
And yeah, I want to learn more about him, but... Yeah, these movies...
You should read the Book of Five Rings.
I probably will, because it's only like 60 pages.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, it's real short. He wrote other stuff, too, though. So I think you can find, like, collections with, like, a lot of his writing translated. But I don't know how much of it's been translated as a whole. But, yeah. So, a lot of this... Because I was expecting, like, maybe to have... Because I only read, like... I thought I only read, like, the first 20 or so chapters, but, like, I read, like, the content of the first 2 movies. Okay. So it was like, oh, this is not a whole lot new. But yeah, the stuff that the movies do adapt, though, I do like. There's just a lot of points where it's, like, kind of meanders a bit. Like, I thought the third movie, that whole, like, farming section, like, I like it conceptually, but, like, they didn't do anything to make it land.
Right before I watched the third one, I looked at the description on the Criterion channel. It's like, turning away from his warrior roots to start a farm life, Musashi Miyamoto has to really contemplate what it means to be a warrior and what it means to be a man. And from reading that, I'm like, this is gonna be so awesome. Because that's the kind of shit I love. Yeah. And then that doesn't really happen.
No, it just kind of becomes like a little mini Seven Samurai kind of thing for a bit with... I mean, obviously there's like the twist. I wasn't a big fan of the whole Akame plot in general.
Yeah, it's like, and I know it's based on a true story or whatever, but...
I don't know how much of that's true.
Yeah.
I guess they're both based on the same book, but you do meet those characters early on. Like, that happens in the manga. I don't remember to what extent, because I didn't remember the whole, like... oh, she like made a move on Tetsuo and he ran away, and then she's like, oh well, he made a move on me and I turned him away and he ran away ashamed or whatever. Like, that didn't happen in the manga, I don't think, but don't quote me on that because I haven't read it in like 6 years and my memory is really bad.
This is another one that's like basically one movie. It's like, but in the first one, let's talk about the first one. You know, he's just kind of lazing around town, stuck in a tree with his fun buddy. Yeah. Fun buddy. Matahachi, who's like the worst man on the world.
He's been disowned by his family. So he's like,
I'm going to go off to war.
Yeah, raised by his big guy. Uncle. Yeah. And so he goes off to war, convinces his friend to come with him. Kind of, like, he doesn't strong arm him into it, but he kind of, tries to...
He's like, hey, it'd be cool. And his friend's like, yeah, I'm going to go tell my woman to wait for me.
Yeah, because he's got,
He's the worst. I fucking hate that guy.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of his character either, because it's like, no one's fucking... Even his friend who was kind of like lightly being like, hey, you should go to war. I don't know what it was like in real life. Maybe there was more pressure put on him by...
but he's like, I have to go. Yeah. Will you wait for me? And then he goes and gets married to another woman.
Yeah.
And then he sucks for the rest. And then he just...
he tries to kill Otsu because he's like following his mother's weird conspiracy. And then the one... samurai whose name I don't remember, but the other goated one is basically like, hey, fuck you, you stole my identity and don't kill this random woman, like, what the fuck? And basically I don't think he's...
And then he just leaves.
Yeah,
it's like, and I know, it's based on this story and stuff, but it's like, but you're making a movie.
Yeah, they don't follow up on a lot of the threads. It's like, okay, maybe that samurai killed the three of them. But there's like stuff later on in the movie where it's like they leave it kind of ambiguous, where it's like, what really happened? Like, what happened to Jotaro and Otsu? Like, because we don't see any of his life after that final battle. It's just like, him kind of coming to terms. And thematically, I think that makes sense, but I don't know.
But from a movie perspective?
Yeah, I guess they give enough, like... 'cause the thing is, I don't literally know what happens at the end of his life, because I've tried not to research his life, because I really want to read Vagabond at some point. Which also, I think Vagabond's done. Like, it's not finished, but, like, the author has basically been like,
No, I'm pretty sure it is finished. It's just not...
It's not finished.
Physically printed, no?
No. He did, like, museum murals that kind of paint the rest of Musashi's life and some, like, key paintings, but, like, in terms of the manga, no. I don't think it's finished. It went on, like, indefinite hiatus for, like, several years, and then he started coaching basketball, because it's the same author as Slam Dunk. And then he started writing a different manga called Real, which is about, like, wheelchair basketball. And yeah. I haven't read...
Would you think Musashi Miyamoto will show up in that one?
That'd be pretty cool. What if one of the basketball players is just reading a book and is like, what do you read, man? And it's like, the Book of Five Rains.
He just says Vagabond, and it's like a volume that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Just to fuck with people.
Yeah, that would really upset. I don't know how big Vagabond is over there. It's not like super big over here, but it's kind of become one of those. Like,
it's been really popular now.
Yeah, it's one of those things that goes into the fucking like literally me crowd that like the trifecta of manga for them is like Vagabond, Vinland Saga, and Berserk. Like that's their big three. But
what about Dungeon Toilet?
Dungeon Toilet's for the literally not me crowd, but...
so yeah, in the first Musashi Miyamoto movie,
yes,
he goes by Takazo,
yeah.
Takazo?
I think I called him something else.
You did. I think you said Tetsuo.
Oops.
That's okay. I knew who you were talking about.
Yeah.
And yeah, he just like goes to war, and he kind of gets fucked up, and then he's kind of wandering around... and then these bandits are attacking a woman's home, and they like defend it, and then they start kind of living there for a bit until the daughter and the mother try to have sex with him. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I know all these women want to fuck me, but I really just want to fight people. And that's kind of his thing the whole trilogy.
Yeah, no, he wants to be like the best version of himself he can be, and he's kind of struggling with moving on past the might aspect. And I think that kind of, I like it how it like kind of goes throughout the whole trilogy, because it's like, I mean, a lot of people keep telling him, it's like, oh, you know, you're not like a great samurai because you're only like the one end of the spectrum. But like, he's literally like, everyone in his life like positively reinforces his violent actions, whether it be, you know, all the women who cling to him because he's like so strong, or whether it's, you know, other fucking samurai who like praise and want to challenge him and view him as like sort of like this legend walking around. I mean, which fair, because I mean, he kind of was, but yeah, I don't know. It's just like, but no one's really giving him a constructive, everyone's just like, oh, yeah, you're missing the one crucial thing in life you need, and it's not until he meets that one innkeeper that nobody gives him any sort of insight as to what that is, and he's obviously struggling to find it himself, which is affection, and then that ties into the whole, like, Otsu thing, where she, like, kind of turns away from him, and then he kind of perceives that as, like, oh, shit. Like, what does that mean for me, sort of a thing, and then, yeah, that part where he, like, oaths away women. He's a real Sigma male. He's a real Sigma.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know.
He's voluntarily celibate.
Yes. Pretty much, yeah.
It's like, sorry.
Yeah,
my sword thirsts for blood more than I thirst for women.
My heart has chosen the way of the sword, or whatever the quote is that he keeps saying to Otsu.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that poor girl. But also, she's definitely into that toxic romanticism sort of thing.
You can find someone else.
Yeah, no one's forcing you to wait.
He's literally like, you should go.
He's like, I'm sorry, but I'm picking the sword over you. Please understand.
She's like, I'm so horny right now.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I mean, it's Musashi Miyamoto. I mean,
Toshiro Mifune's so hot.
Yeah, I probably would have done the same if
you know what? Looking about all the other people in this movie, I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. In this movie, he gets stuck in a tree for what seems like 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. It's the best 20 minutes of the movie, too.
Yeah. I mean, I actually really liked that part. Yeah.
No, me too. I'm legitimate. I'm like, yo, he's stuck in the... Every time it just cut to him just, like, hanging there sadly, I kind of just laughed, though. Just the way it was framed, you're just like...
Yeah, but... Yeah, he's basically... This monk captures him and ties him to a tree and is basically like, look, like... You've got a lot of potential. You've clearly got like a lot of ambition and drive and determination, but you are fucking unruly and you are wild, and you need to fucking kick some of that out of you. So he ties him up in a tree for several days and leaves him up there and threatens to kill him the next morning, but then Otsu like frees him, and that's when their whole like love thing truly kicks off. But yeah, the two of them escape together, but her hands got, like, really fucked up from trying to ease the rope down instead of just, like...
Because he was, like, 25 feet up in the air.
Yeah.
And then she's immediately captured.
Mm-hmm.
And the monk's like, don't worry, I know where she is. And he's like, oh, you've never done anything to me that would make me not want to trust you. Okay.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's in this little room that has only one exit. And he's like, oh, that makes sense. And he climbs up and the monk locks him and he's like, you gotta read these books now.
Yeah.
You gotta read these books.
It's like,
and then it cuts to him having read all the books. It's just like jumps ahead.
Yeah.
Like that's a weird place to jump now.
Yeah. Yeah, the narrative, like the points where it kind of chooses the focus are a little strange, but...
Yeah, it's weird because it also like does another jump. It's just like they want to format it as 3 movies, but none of them really feel like a cohesive movie on their own.
I would say the second one probably does, but it still has...
Probably Yeah,
but it's probably got a couple, because I watched them all back to back, so it's probably got some like BC plots that are attached to the other two. But like for the most part, that one's Musashi versus the fucking like dojo that's trying to fucking kill him. But but basically, he just learns, and then he's like, all right, well, they gave me a new name, which I think it's still his name. They're just like going with a different pronunciation of it, because I'm pretty sure in
the second one they see like it written and they say Musashi, or they go Takezo or so. Yeah. I think maybe just they might have flipped it. And then Miyamoto is where they're from, right? That's the precinct they're from, or something. One of the names is
But so changes his name, Musashi Miyamoto, the name he would be known as for the rest of his.
It's a good name.
It is a good name.
Almost as good as Thomas the Peter Griffin.
I think I like Musashi just a smidge more than I like that one. But, so that's pretty, he leaves, and then Otsu's like, don't leave, and he's like, all right, I won't, but then he leaves it, then he's like, I gotta leave, and he like just carves into the...
Pierre bursted out laughing when that happened.
I actually really like that part.
But yeah, I do too. There are moments in this movie I really like, and it's just like, it doesn't really mesh together well.
Yeah.
I don't feel like any of these movies have a good flow to them. Like, I'm liking everything that I'm seeing, but it's just like either jumping between its focuses like haphazardly or like meandering. Like, it doesn't ever feel like there's a consistent pacing or flow, in my opinion.
I guess I could see that. I didn't struggle with that as much, but I don't know. I thought it was pretty decent, but yeah, this one definitely, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it was a good like kicking off point.
That's fair.
I probably wouldn't have started it where it started. I think the manga's got a much more effective beginning, because it starts in the battle where they're both like laying dead under the corpses, and it's like raining, and they're like trying to hide and stuff, and it basically picks up from there, and then you like kind of explore through. Like, he goes back and tries to tell his friend's mom, is like, hey, I'm just trying to fucking tell you. And yeah, she's
the worst too.
Yeah, I don't like her at all, but she's just evil. She because I mean, Musashi's like, hey, your son's not dead, and I wanted to tell you that, because I know they're going to tell you otherwise. And she's like, oh, thanks. And then, like, calls the guard that's looking for him, and, like, traps him in the bathhouse or whatever. But then, like, then she's like, well, my son's not around, but Otsu, I'm still considering you my daughter-in-law, because I definitely love you, and it's not definitely the fact that I'm old and looking for someone to just take care of me. But Otsu's basically like, no, I'm not signing up for that.
No, thank you.
Your husband left me, and I don't like you very much. And then she takes that very personally. So she's like, all right, I know what we have to do. We have to go on a quest to kill Musashi and Otsu. So he takes on a couple of bumbling idiots with her, and ends up finding her son, who she wraps into it all, and doesn't really amount to much.
Just kind of fizzles out.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, because I really do feel like there's, obviously, they're adapting things, but there's something going on with the Matahachi stuff, and this, like, he's being called a coward by his wife, and he's being cocked, and, like, and it feels like and he, like, stands up to her when she's being, like, mean to her daughter, and it's like, feels like there's something going on, and then it just stops. Like, nothing happens with it, and I'm like, why did we get so many scenes with him?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I hope that's a plotline that's like more well written in the manga than it was in the movie.
Me too.
But I guess I'll have to wait and see on that one. But yeah. That's pretty much the first movie.
Yeah. He disappears, and then he walks away, and it ends.
Yeah.
I liked it.
7 out of 10. 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know, right?
Samurai 2. The Duel at Ichijoji Temple, I think. The I think is part of the title.
Yes.
This one has such a great opening.
Mm-hmm.
He's fighting the blade guy who has the spinny axe. I don't know what they're called.
Yeah.
That's sick. I think it looks awesome. Most of the duels look awesome in these. And in general, I think these movies all look really good.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it starts with this, and I'm like, this movie's gonna be sick! And it was fine.
Yeah.
I liked it still.
I think it was a little long.
That's fair.
I didn't remember, this arc is not this long in the manga, from what I recall.
It's mostly the same thing happening again and again.
Yeah.
Where he wants to duel a guy, and his students don't think the guy's very good. Mm-hmm. But he's the master of the temple because he inherited it from his father. So they just keep trying to kill Musashi.
Yeah, and he ends up...
And it just keeps happening.
Yeah, it's they'll send, 5 guys to jump him, and then it's nothing really amounts from that. And it's alright, we'll send out his brother. Nothing really amounts from that. Alright, 20 guys? But yeah, I'd say, the main meat of this one is, obviously, the Otsu plotline kind of threads through all 3 of them. He meets Jotaro in this one, who's his little disciple. Oh, that's another example of only being gratified for his violent side, is that Jotaro is also very uninterested. He's oh god damn it, why is he wood carving again? Oh man. And it's implied through a lot of the dialogue in this movie. I don't know about real life or what the novelizations or whatever, but he's basically just kind of trying to coat ride the tail, or whatever that fucking term is. Musashi.
Ride the coattails?
Yeah, ride the coattails.
You were just mixing up your words. You got
it happens. But trying to ride the coattails of Musashi's success, and then Musashi is really not after success.
I'm gonna whittle.
He's yeah, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna try to be the Shogun's son's teacher or whatever. And the kid's what the fuck? That would have been a great opportunity for me. And he's
but not for me.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. If that's why you're following me, fuck off, kind of a thing. He doesn't say that, but he should. But yeah, he's wood carving, and they stay. Wait, is that the? Yeah, that's this one. They stay in this hotel, and yeah, basically, yeah, he's just trying to duel the one guy, and they just keep sending a bunch of guys at him.
And that guy, he is well, just let me do it. Just let me do it.
Yeah.
And he's no, everyone's no. This guy, he's way beneath you. You don't want to duel this guy. Mm-hmm. It just brings dishonor, even to duel this schmuck.
Yeah.
When in reality, they're this guy's gonna get destroyed by Musashi.
Yeah. Yeah. But when they do actually get around to dueling, because they end up trying to jump him with 80 guys, and he finds out about it ahead of time, because Akame cuts off Otsu and tries to trick Otsu into thinking that they have a thing going when they don't, but ends up meeting with him before Otsu can, and Otsu's watching the whole thing, but she gives Musashi the information that it's oh, they're gonna jump you with 80 guys, and he's
I'll take them.
It's well, I can't run away. I'll look like a coward. And she's don't.
Better to be an alive coward than a dead warrior. Whatever.
Yeah, something. He's nope. So he goes out there and he fucking stands his ground and is able to pretty much. I mean, he doesn't defeat all of them, but he defeats all
to get away
enough to scare them, and then kind of he and I really like this part where he runs into the bog and is kind of walking backwards, and they're all just in the mud, and it takes them 5 minutes before one of them's no, we surround him. It's yeah, I don't know why you guys didn't try that earlier. Probably would have been a much more effective strategy, but I get it, because I mean, obviously, if you're in a big group and it's a big group of not very confident people, and one guy's just fucking hacking people down like that, you're probably gonna be
oh, you guys go ahead.
Yeah. But yeah, he ends up escaping. And there's this guy who was kind of getting involved. He was trying to act as sort of a mediator, but they end up kicking him out. But he's basically like trying to like set up Musashi into being like a great samurai that he can one day duel.
He was like, if he hadn't have challenged your lord, I would have. Kojiro.
Yes.
Who's like this overarching. I do really like his introduction, and in general, I really like his character. I like this kind of like rivalry, where mostly it's just like Kojiro's like, I'm gonna get this guy, and Musashi's like, I'm gonna go farm.
Yeah, and I really like his because his introduction comes before his introduction with the sword. And I really like that. Because I like that whole sword sequence where he's like, tries to take it to the shop and the guy's like, no, you're a killer, not a real samurai. And he's just kind of gets all huffy and leaves. And he comes back. He's like, all right, can you please look at my sword and maybe teach me some shit about being a real samurai? And he's like, oh no, now I can't do your sword. Because you're too much of a real samurai. You got to go to like the guy. So he sends him to the guy. And the guy's got Tojiro? Is that the name? Kojiro. He's got Kojiro's sword, and like Musashi's like, that's a nice fucking sword. Like, he's like, yeah. Guy who's got it doesn't seem like hot shit yet, but never know.
Maybe one day.
Looks like a Hollywood actor. That's what the subtitles I had said. Or maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't say Hollywood, but they said actor, I think. They might have said Hollywood actor in the subtitles I had. But that strikes me as odd because it was Criterion subtitles. And I don't feel like they'd make that sort of a mistake, considering that this doesn't take place anywhere near the time period of Hollywood.
Maybe it's like a Lupin Part 2 kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Anybody got a cell phone?
Yeah. Lupin Part 2 animated in the 70s makes like a Britney Spears joke or something. Yeah, funny. But yeah, and that's pretty much this one. He ends up dueling the son, and that part is really good. Yeah. I really like that part.
He does kind of just destroy him.
Well, yeah. I mean, the guy just fought 80 guys and has an arrow in his fucking leg, and he's just like, about to go pure, like, sicko mode on him, and just kind of stops himself and remembers all the...
He gets the fade transition, crossfades with people. There's some, like, cool, like, crossfades in this, and I think in the third one is where he, like, remembers Otsu and stuff. It shows, like, the silhouette of him. I really like that one. But, yeah, I like this movie. It's, I like the finale. I like the intro a lot. And it just feels long. Like, really long.
Yeah, I think if this one were cut down like half an hour and be about the size of the first one, it would have been a lot better.
This movie's only, I think, 15 minutes longer than the first one. I thought an hour and 45 minutes.
I thought the first one was only like an hour and 18. I might be off on that.
First one was an hour and 33 minutes. So this is only 12 minutes longer. Nope, 10 minutes longer.
Well, yeah.
But it really feels longer.
I think this could have been like an hour and 18 minutes.
Because, like, as much as the focus shifts a ton in the first one and, like, they jump around, like, still a lot happens and stuff. This, it's like, it's one thing happening for an hour and 43 minutes.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, alright. I guess you would give this one a 6?
Yeah. I think you're at a 7? 8?
Yeah, I really like that ending sequence. Woo-hoo! But yeah, I do. Actually, no. Probably a 7. Now that we've talked about it. Because, yeah, they do like, that, it does kind of rinse and repeat itself a lot, so. Yeah, probably like a 7. But could have easily been an 8 had they trimmed some stuff.
That's fair. Let's talk about Samurai 3. The Duel on Ganryu Island, I think?
If you snipped out the middle of this movie and just had it as, like, the intro where he, like, runs away for a year.
Ganryu, sorry.
Yeah. And then, like, the part where he, like, starts boating to the island or whatever. Mm-hmm. This would probably be, like, a 10. But I don't like the middle of the movie. I don't
like at all. Like in concept, you said, right?
Yeah, in concept, like I like a lot of the themes that they're building up, and had they executed it better, and to be fair, I don't know, maybe they were sticking close to the historical records or accounts or whatever, but I mean, this is a historical drama. You gotta spice it up a little.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think this one has the weakest moments and also the best moments.
Yes, because that final duel
is so fucking sick.
Yeah, it's honestly low-key. I don't know if I'd say it's the greatest samurai duel that I've seen, but it's a contender. Like, it's real good.
It's awesome. And Toshiro Mifune and I think these movies, honestly, I don't know if I would even like them if Toshiro Mifune wasn't in them, but he's so good in them.
Yes, he really is. He's such a good actor.
Yeah, he's incredible. But, like, yeah, that final thing is awesome. The intro's pretty cool, too. Like, honestly, this trilogy, if they had just made it one movie that was, like... The thing is, like, the 4.5 hours it runs, I really feel like it could be, like, 3.
Yeah. No.
And it just feels like, I'm just like, what are we doing here? What's going on? There's not enough stuff happening. And I don't mind, like, slow burn meandering things, but it doesn't ever feel that way, you know? It just feels like they don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure.
But, yeah, I agree. That final fight is phenomenal. And I love the framing of it. I love the framing of the first fight in the second movie, but yeah, this one and the sunlight and
we got Pop-Tart.
Pop-Tart cam. It's just frustrating because I really, really like the concept of the middle chunk of this, but they don't do anything with it. Like, it really doesn't feel like any person, like, learned a lesson there. No. As much as they, like, try to frame it as, like, and then the characters learned a lesson by being with these villagers. I'm like, no, they just fought some bandits, and you just wanted a spot for Akemi to betray someone. Yeah,
I'd say, like, it seems like they were trying to do, like, Akemi was the character arc in this movie kind of a thing. And it's like, that's not what I want.
Yeah, it's just, like, it's not a good character. Yeah. She doesn't have a good character in these movies.
Yeah, she tries to kill Otsu, and then, like, on a dime, she's like, oh, never mind, I'll save Otsu. And kind of, like, as I'm on my deathbed, I'll kind of, like, admit to my faults and spur them on or whatever.
Like, cool, I love having people sacrifice themselves and being redeemed right at the end. It's my favorite trope. Oh, wait? No, it's not.
Yeah. It worked one time, and that was Star Wars. No more. And even then, it's debatable whether he actually redeemed himself or not. In terms of the audience perspective, yes. In terms of the actual in-universe perspective, God, no. Can you imagine if, like, Hitler, like, just at the last minute, like, stopped, like, one concentration camp and was like, I've done it. I've redeemed myself. It'd be like, no, you didn't. Chill out.
Well, it's funny because, like, even in, like, canon books and stuff, you know, Luke's in there, like, he's not saying that to anyone. He's like, you know, I know he's, like, redeemed in, like, his soul, and I know he's not gonna get into so, actually, that wasn't my dad. That was Darth Vader. You see, the dark side corrupts. Like, he's not dumb enough to be like, I'm not gonna get into that argument.
Yeah. No, for sure. It'd be a bad one.
Yeah. Because most people would be like, what the fuck is the Force? You're just blaming it on a magic power?
Yeah. Well,
you're blaming it on a wrinkly old guy?
It's like, you're saying that it wasn't really him, but the midichlorians in his bloodstream?
But yeah, Samurai 3. Like, honestly, there's not a lot to say about this movie either. Like, he goes to a farm. The farm's being, like, this village is being abandoned because there are bandits constantly, like, attacking and stealing people and stealing money. And they're like, you know what? We're going to be here for now. We're going to build a little hut. Mm-hmm. And he has the horseman. He gets into a fight with a guy, and the guy, like, just is like, I'm going to follow you now.
Yeah. that felt weird. I kind of liked his character a little bit, but like it was a pure surface level. Like, oh, he just seems kind of pleasant now, but like I don't know why he's suddenly a main character for this one. But
yeah.
Pop-Tart's looking for something.
Looking for a good place to lay down. What are you doing? What are you doing? But, yeah, and then he just kind of stays there. O2 eventually arrives, and then Akame arrives, and then he fights bandits again, and then he goes to the duel, and he wins.
Yeah.
And then the movie ends.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's like, it's not bad, because some of it's incredible, but, oh!
Yeah.
Some of it's fantastic, but some of it's not good.
Yeah,
and it's not like that middle chunk. I wouldn't say it's like terrible, but it's pretty not great.
Yeah, it's grating, especially if you do what I did and you watch them all back to back after work.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
Well, I did, and I was like, by that point, I was like, if I want to watch Seven Samurai, I'll watch Seven Samurai, you know?
And it's like, yeah, this came out before Seven Samurai, but
it's partially historical, so I don't know, I don't know if that part is, I mean, I'm assuming it probably was, I wouldn't be surprised if that was, inspiration for Seven Samurai or something, if that is, a historical account that happened. I don't know. Unfortunately, I didn't know research before this episode, but yeah. It is... Yeah, like I said, if it was just the duel stuff, this might be a 10, because I really like that stuff.
Yeah. But then it's being drugged down.
Yeah, but it just has a... It's like those... Have you seen that meme where it's the picture of the horse, and it's the end of it's really good, and the front of it's really good, and then a kindergartner through the middle?
Yeah, it's kind of every iteration of that.
Yeah, this movie kind of feels like that to me, so... It's not that bad, clearly, but it does bring the movie down. So that's how I feel about it.
That's fair. I agree.
So I think you're at a 6.
Yeah. This was a triple 6. I think you're maybe at a 7 still.
Yeah, the parts of the set are high, are really high, so I'll allow that to carry it to a 7.
Yeah, I think the parts that we liked, you just liked a little more in general. But I think most of our complaints are pretty similar.
Yeah.
Pretty similar viewing experiences.
Yeah, because I had always heard really great stuff, so I was low-key, kind of hoping, oh, shit, are we about to watch Gold again?
Should have watched Sword of Doom.
We should.
I've heard that one's so fucking sick.
Yeah, I've heard
the thing is though, and these weren't, in my opinion, they weren't great, but it's watching samurai movies are just fun.
Oh yeah,
it's this is fun. Even if it was bad, I'd be oh, yeah, I had a good time.
Oh yeah, no, even
I watched a samurai movie.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't come across a samurai movie yet that's been really bad, because most of the samurai movies I've watched have at least been from big directors, so I can't comment on if I were to try to watch a low from the bottom of the fucking barrel samurai.
Well, it's also confirmation bias in the sense that the things that are popular now that are older are good things,
Typically, yeah.
Yeah, I won't popular things,
Yeah.
Oh, imagine in 60 years when people are yeah. Endgame? That's a pretty good movie. That's a classic.
I honestly think...
And I'll be I'm gonna kill you.
It's hard to tell. Assuming... I have no reason to assume this, but assuming that we go on a positive arc from here and not just descend further into degeneracy and madness... I'd like to think that people will look back at our current era of film and be able to obviously pick out the nuggets, because there's good stuff, but by and large, I think from 2000s upward, people are gonna look at this early turn of the century and be wow, that was there was a lot of shit coming out in that era.
And it'll be what were the popular movies? what?
Yeah.
And then they'll look at like some independent cinema and be like, why didn't this ever blow up? What's going on?
Yeah, I hope films like The Witch are talked about like in like film schools like years from now and will in legacy outshine the MCU, but they're probably not because the MCU is I don't know. It's hard to tell. I mean, it seems like they're kind of deteriorating as time goes on and fans are kind of as a whole kind of starting to wake up to it, but there's still a lot of people who
I know. I work at a comic
so it's like,
which I'm like, yeah, like what you like. Love it. Hate it. That's fine.
yeah.
But
I'm hoping
it's bad.
I'm hoping we're at the beginning of a slightly long process. Hopefully not too long, but obviously things take time. But where just that'll fizzle out. But DCU is about to start up, so I highly doubt. I'm sure that's going to breathe new life into this current age. Yeah. Or maybe it won't. Maybe it'll be like the old DCU and it'll just fucking flop hard and we can all rest happy.
Aquaman's was huge.
I mean, okay. Obviously flop hard. They financially did
conceptually.
But like, yeah, I mean, as a whole of the cinematic universe did not do very well.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I just want good movies to be in theaters.
Me too.
Instead of being dropped on various shitty streaming services that just keep getting more shitty.
Yes.
HBO switched to Max. I don't know if you saw that.
I heard something about them.
It's a nightmare. I haven't even opened the app yet. I'm like, I might just cancel. Because I'm like, I might just cancel a bunch of mine. Because at this point, I'm like, I'm getting more into physical media.
Yeah.
Because I like the feeling. You can get things on sale. You have a physical copy that's not ever going to be pulled off.
Yeah. No.
And it's just like, you know.
Yeah, because I canceled HBO Max like shortly after they did that Batgirl shit, just because on principle I was like, well, I don't want to fucking support you.
That's fair. I almost did, and then I think I just kind of forgot to do it.
Yeah, and then I ended up canceling the rest of them, but I still have Criterion.
Criterion's great.
I respect Criterion.
Like, Criterion's great, and their like streaming stuff on there is good. Like the shows they do on there, like Adventures in Movie Going. I don't know if you've watched any of those, but they're great. They're just like 30-minute interviews with like an actor, and then or like a director, and then they'll have like 2-minute excerpts where they talk about like a specific movie, and then have that movie that you can watch.
Yeah. The only thing I will say about Criterion that upsets me is Criterion Channel app on my phone, not very good. I don't know if it's like that for all phones or if it's just mine.
My phone, it runs pretty well. I will say just in general, the UI is not super great. There's not a recommended. There's a lot of like sorting stuff that there's issues. Like in general, it's not great. But the catalog of movies is insane. Like it's so good. Like the stuff on there is incredible. Oh, and then Netflix is doing their thing where it's like they're gonna ban screens if you're not in the same household. You can't be sharing screens. Like you're gonna lose subscribers. It's like you can pay $8 more a month. $8. That's insane.
Yeah,
I thought it was gonna be like $2. I was like, it's just a sneaky way to get people to pay $2 more. Because it's like, at that point, it's like, $2, that's fine. $8? I remember when Netflix was $8 a month.
Yeah.
You believe that, Allie? You believe that, Pop-Tart? These cats don't believe it.
Spoiled. They have other people pay for the Netflix.
But Tubi TV, that has Puppet Master.
Yeah. Tubi's free, and it's low-key kind of kick-ass. So...
yeah, its UI is also kind of weird, but it has like, it's really funny because it doesn't ever have fine things. It either has like incredible stuff that randomly is on there, I'm like, this is on there, or it has just the worst dog shit in the world, and it's like, yes!
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. But
yeah. Next week, Hinatea really wants us to, and I told her we would like 2 months ago. We're going to watch the Austin Powers trilogy. Woo! Really excited for that one. No, I'm not. I'm not a huge fan.
I'm intrigued because I liked them when I was a kid. I was never a big Goldmember guy. I remember that one. I always thought it was kind of dumb.
That was the one I watched the most, I think.
Yeah, that was the one a lot of kids our age really liked because it came out around that time. And also, I think a lot of... Not saying this about you in particular, but I knew a lot of kids that thought, like, movies from the 90s looked old. So...
I did, you know? That's fine.
And I think Goldmember is the only one that's shot on digital. It might not be shot on digital, but it looks different.
Yeah, it looks significantly different.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, so we're gonna watch those. You know, maybe I'll like them now. That's happened.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily expect that to happen, but I would be pleasantly surprised.
I mean, obviously, I'm not expecting a huge, character arc or anything that I'm gonna fucking dig into. It's just really gonna be hinged upon whether I think the jokes are funny or not. Which...
Yeah.
I mean...
I'm just saying, it's probably no Mr. Bean.
No. I mean, the thing about, like, that type of comedy, I find, like, that type of comedy to age a lot better than, like, raunchy or, like, the... I mean, honestly, raunchy comedy doesn't tend to age well, because it's, like... I don't know what it is, but it, like... Something about the tone shifts throughout the generations, because it's, like...
And you have raunchy comedy in each generation. It's just a different delivery method.
Yeah, because it's like you got like the Judd Apatow era, and then you have like the 90s or the early 2000s, like sex comedies were a big thing, and then like before that you had like I guess stuff like this, and I'm sure they probably had like, I mean obviously like I don't know, it's a big, I don't know,
it's a whole thing.
So many different subgenres and eras that you could dive into. I don't know.
Comedies are bad.
Weird. Yeah, typically I don't. It's like my least favorite film genre, just because comedy ages poorly.
Yeah. And it's like when I'm having a bad day, sometimes I just want to watch a comedy, and I'm like, I can't think of any good ones. And it's like I'm not saying like every comedy's bad. Some of them are. And great, incredible. I love Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Like, there are tons that I love. Yeah. But, like...
It either needs to have, like, a good heart or, like... I think
it's very funny.
Yeah, I think absurdist comedy ages decently well. Yeah. Like, absurdism or physical, like, slapstick kind of stuff.
Like, there's a ton of, like, Charlie Chaplin and, like, Keaton and Harold Lloyd stuff that I still think is funny.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's 100 years old.
Yeah.
But it's like, and then I look back at Austin Powers, I'm like... These jokes kind of suck. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll like them this time. Like I said, we'll tune in next time for episode 186 for Austin Powers. Yeehaw!
Groovy, baby.
That sounded just like him.
Wow.
Oh my God, Shrek, are you in the room right now? All right, thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye!